The future of business for the next decade is our last point number 6. And we call this the Economists' concern about the coming decades of this nation and the world. A global economist concern agree on 8 things that I'm about to tell you right now. Number 1, climate change is going to affect the way we do business. Climate change. You can't get away from climate change. You can have a business, a staff, making money, and a storm or hurricane can shut your business down for a week or for a month or 3 months, or like New Jersey, or like Galveston, or like North Carolina, or like Florida. Some businesses have not recovered from hurricanes. And going through the struggles and the bustles of paperwork with the insurance company and with FEMA and with the government based upon a simple climate change. A weird hurricane or a weird weather condition came by. In parts of Oklahoma all the time there's lots of tornadoes. But in some states they're getting some unusual weather that can shut a business down if customers are not coming due to snow on the ground when it never snows in the month of February for them. So you have to be prepared for unexpected things that's going to be going down in this next coming decades. Number 2, that economists are concerned about in the these final days here, the rise of borrowing and debt. There's a rise of borrowing and debt going on like never ever before in the history of this globe. Debt. I have never personally had seen the numbers so bad in every state like I've seen before. I didn't know how bad our state, across state, from the east to the west coast, how states are overspending. How long do you think that states can overspend like they are? They're trying to pay their bills, but they're overspending. And how they do this is they keep on getting bonded and after bonded and after bonded to pay their debts. But let me tell you, this condition is getting bad. The states are overspending. And I'm going to tell you something right now. This got to stop and slow down. So. Or just continue to print some money. Continue to print money. Now we're going to be talking about this later in our later on in this conference. Point number 3. Economists are concerned about the devalue of the dollar. A lot of economists don't want you to know this. A lot of the world wants you to know this, but America does not want you to know about the devalue of the dollar. They want you to believe America is the number 1 top dog when it comes to money. Yes, a lot of our dollar bills are circulating around the world. Yes, it is the biggest translator of funds. It is the way, a legal tender of many nations. You go some nations today, they want your dollar. When you go out there shopping for a $5 suit, $20 suit, you got dollar, you got $20, you got a dollar. Now the devalue of the dollar means that other nations are willing to accept other currency other than America. It used to be the dollar bill was the currency of the world. The superpower of the world was American dollar. You turn a dollar in some countries you get $3 with it. Now some countries are rejecting the dollar and says, no, do not come to our country with dollars. You're not going to buy a loaf of bread with a dollar. You're going to be using our currency. And they want you to exchange it. Not as high as it used to be. You're not going to get a dollar for your dollar. There may be 87 cents, 67 cents. And now, the value of our dollar is a concern to economists of the future of businesses of this world globally in the future, coming this decade. Point 4, the population growth is concern of economists. Matter of fact, I think they want it. They're looking forward to an 8 billion on the planet. I personally believe that this is an overstaffing of our planet. We can barely feed 7, but we want 8 billion people on the planet. The planet is getting ready for 8 billion people. They're building and getting a vision of where they're going to house 8 billion people. China has just erased the restriction of how many children you can have. China wants to be the biggest population in the world. That's later on here. Going ahead of myself, but that is part of the population growth. Point number 5, the global communication is a desire of economists. For your business to increase, they want to put global communication all the way around the world. First of all, they want 8 billion people. And they want 8 billion people to communicate with each other no matter where they live. On top of the planet, on the bottom, or north, east, south, or west. They want everybody to be able to communicate with each other. Imagine that coming up. If you want business increase, listen to what the economists are saying about the future. Climate change, rise of borrowing and debt, giving you clues. Devalue of the dollar, population growth of 8 billion. What is this telling you, man? I hear real estate, I hear banks, I hear loans, I hear a lot of jobs out there that you should be seeking today. Oh, here comes the next point, number 6. China and India are fighting for the denomination, fighting for control of, number 1, being the most populated country in the world. China and India are fighting to be the number 1 population in the world. Number 2, they're fighting for global trade. India wants to pass China as the number 1 country that is trading out there. India made a mistake. They took a lot of their money and invested into one little nest and found out that they were losing money and tried to take the money out. This is how you devalue your money. You're not going to win like that. When you put your money in and find out you're losing and then you pull it out, this is not a good thing to do. Number 7, the rich and the poor, the gap is increasing. This is the economists are worried. This is point number 7. They're worrying about the gap between the rich and the poor is separating. The gap is getting so wide that this can cause a global depression. And this happened before. When the world went through a depression, it's because of that gap between the rich and the poor. This is a fact. The gap is getting bigger. Number 8, individual states in the U.S. are overspending. And we are concerned because overspending means a devaluing of the dollar. Stand by, because we're going to be talking about some more about businesses in the coming decades. But this series was about increasing sales in your business. So prepare for the decades to come.